Welcome back to another episode of TVGP's We Roguelike It, where we're just keep on doing those loops. We're just gonna do as many loops as we can, as we want.
Come on,
really.
phrase it how you wanted to.
I don't know how I wanted to.
Keep on keeping on. We know you're obsessed.
Keep on keeping on. That's right, man. Death Stranding Loop Hero. Let's get that DLC going.
Yes, please. Who are you, by the way?
Oh yeah, I'm your host, Boston, and joining me as always, Moonpeer. You sidetracked me by talking about Death Stranding. Let's back to the Death Stranding cast.
Hey. D2 is around the corner, dude, and I'm not talking about Destiny 2 or any of the other twos that begin with D.
So excited. Anywho, let's talk about Loop Hero here. How was your week in the loops?
Yes.
Yep, they were looping. We got some loops.
I think I got the achievement. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I got the. I can't check because everything will die on my machine if I open up another thing.
Right.
It's like a precarious game of Kaplunk, and if I pull one straw out, all of the marbles fall.
Mm-hmm.
It was fine. I did a bunch of material runs, like jumped it down to difficulty 1. I got the forest, which now I know why you like the rogue, especially if you run with the forest a lot.
Do you have the river?
I don't have the river yet. That's
okay.
Next.
So here's the thing. So for anyone that isn't playing, the forest increases your attack speed by either 1 or 2%. The river doubles the effectiveness of any tile it's placed next to. So I always have this thing where a river goes right down the side of a map. There are forests on either side. You now get 2 or 4% increased attack speed, and then next to those are all the little meadows. So you kind of have this big effective strip right down the side of. Pretty soon I'm just attacking at 150 attack speed, and it's real good.
Yeah, that's pretty solid. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. Like the forest was a game changer for me because it meant equipment wise, because I essentially did an infinite loop with the necromancer, who their attack speed is how quickly they summon skeletons when they die. So very useful to have the perk where when they die, they heal you, and you also summon them instantaneously.
Right.
It's kind of very useful. So I think it was a boss 2 run. I don't think it was a stage 1 run. I think it was a 2 run. But I got so much stuff that I couldn't collect any more resources.
Oh yeah, you maxed out the resource caps.
I capped them all out, and then no matter how many times I leveled up, I wasn't getting the increased capacity of resources by 50% perk.
That's rough.
So I just ended up literally going into the loop until I filled the map. And once I'd filled the map and got that achievement, I was like, cool, I'm going to bounce at the end of the next loop.
Right.
It took forever because of those next to the road ones.
Yep.
Which is really annoying. Because there's only so many graveyards you can put there before.
That's right. And it's like I'm putting spider places, okay, and I'm putting road lanterns. I guess that's all I have. Sure.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I did get the crafting place unlocked as well.
Yeah. That's weird. It's a weird thing.
It's interesting, but it's weird. The thing that confuses me is I'm capped out at 7 items I can take with me, but
in the supply menu, I think it's called.
Yes, but the slots for the items go to
20
12.
Of them. Yeah, I finally got to the point in my playthrough where I was upgrading more and more of the buildings in my town because I'd built all of them, so now I'm working on upgrading them, and so many of those increase that limit. It unlocks more slots as you go.
I'm assuming that's what the little white symbols are when you upgrade them, but it doesn't tell you what those white symbols mean.
It does not. Yeah. There's I love this game very dearly, but there's so many of those little interface things where it's like, Okay, it's a box that has 4 boxes in them. Like, what is that? But I guess +1. What is that? I don't know what
Yeah.
that is.
What does the little hatchet mean? I don't know.
Right. Yeah. That's a little frustrating. Because
Yes.
to me, there's like enough space there to say like +1 supply, +1 food
I wonder if
supply.
there's a tooltip for it, but because we don't have mouse control, we just don't see the
Yeah,
tooltip.
maybe that's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah, who knows? Um, Boss 3 is still kicking me in the face though.
Yeah, Boss 3 is really rough.
Not best pleased about that, we'll say.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. Like, I still feel like I'm in the grind phase of
Mm-hmm.
this particular roguelike, where it's like, yeah, cool. I guess I'm gonna, get a bunch of materials and then see how it goes on the upgrade front.
Right.
Because I, I've still got like the top of the buildings tree. I've still got like 6 up there that I need to get.
Mm-hmm.
Is that okay? What's the mud hut do? Is that useful? It says I can store things with them. Is that good or bad?
Yeah, you can move people in there, and then they'll. I didn't realize it because I don't think I unlocked it when I played this the first time. You build the mud hut to move people out of the little tents that are on your camp map. They move in there, so it frees up an extra tile over there that you could use to build something maybe next to the farm or an additional farm. And then every time you upgrade the mud hut, it turns into a nicer house that seems to fit more people, but then also unlocks more supply slots. So you're kind of getting like 2 or 3 benefits at the same time.
Okay, so it opens up the slots on the supply panel where your
Correct.
loadout screens
Yeah,
are.
so you can
Okay.
put more supplies in there above the like 4 or 5 you get at the beginning.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I don't like the fact that you have to use metal for upgrading and for crafting things, by the way. I absolutely despise that.
I the crafting system is weird to me because I kind of don't get the point of it, and maybe I'm not min maxing enough, but none of the benefits of giving stuff in the supply menu seems to be strong enough that I would want to keep,
Spend time crafting.
yeah, like rolling the dice crafting where it's like, oh, I really want to get this item because if I get 10 of those, then I'm going to be doing 100 extra damage to vampires or something. It's like, no, I give 1 of those and I take 4 less damage from vampires. It's like, I don't care. Like, my potions heal for 1% more. Okay.
Yeah,
But, like, that's not, even if I do 10 of those, that's still not going to
it's not
save
a
a
lot.
run. And it's not going to, like,
Yeah.
overpower a run, which is what I wanted to do when I'm spending all
Yeah,
these materials and doing the dice roll.
we want to Risk of Rain this stuff where
Yeah,
we
exactly.
literally break the game and
Right.
like it has to send unkillable enemies to kill you.
Right. So it's a little bit of a weird system that I guess maybe I don't appreciate or maybe I don't understand fully. But it
Uh-huh.
just seems like, well, I'm not gonna. Same with alchemy later in the game. You can break things down into like alchemical items to then use a bunch to make a specific item you want. That seems way more powerful where you're like, I just need 2 more fragments of this orb. I'm just going to break down a bunch of other stuff to make these 2 fragments to build this thing or upgrade this thing. That seems more useful.
Yeah, like I hate randomized crafting at the best of times.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're telling me that, it's not just, it's like, not only is it randomized, but it's also very resource intensive. Like, it
Yeah.
just is.
For no strong benefit.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know. It's weird.
Yeah.
I still have so much stuff I need to do. Like,
Ditto.
is 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 there a benefit to building more forests at the camp, like surrounding it with a forest, or
Um
or not?
the benefit is that you can build, you have to put a woodsman's hut next to a forest tile. So if
Hmm.
you want a whole bunch of woodsman huts to get the food or wood benefit when you come back from a run, you can do that. But I haven't really. I think I built 2 or 3 woodsman's huts, and I was like, that's that seems to be enough for the level of game I'm at right now. So, not entirely sure.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Because I still need the alchemical hut. I still need to upgrade the blacksmith so that I can start with weapons specifically for the classes that I'm
Yep.
playing with.
That's been really
Because
good.
the upgrades is so expensive. Like
Yeah.
it's so much more expensive to do that. I feel like yeah, I might as well just run 20 loops on the basic like rank 1 stuff.
Yeah. And like
In
only
order
some stuff can drop from the Act 2, but I feel like once you get the couple of good upgrades, then you can start farming that, I'll probably never farm Act 3.
Yeah, I did end up with my first golden card, which was the Ancestral Tomb.
Yeah, that's the resurrection one, right?
Yes and no.
Mm.
I can't remember exactly what it does.
It does
Basically, it
something
stops.
else and resurrection, right?
Yeah, so it's it removes every single health buff from all armor. So there is no health buffs on armor anymore. But I think every time you kill somebody or a skeleton gets
Here it
killed,
is. I pulled it up. Grants you 1 resurrection after the hero's death, removes the HP bonus from armor, and plus 3 HP for every enemy with a soul killed.
yes.
Yeah.
So I ended up. That's how I did my infinite run because I got
you
the
just turned
magic
into a
shield.
super tank.
Yeah, with the
Yep.
necromancer because I got the
Right.
magic shield buff as well, where every
Right.
time you summon a skeleton, you get +1 to your magic shield.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what item you're having, it starts at a baseline level of like 200 plus or whatever. So I had that, and everyone I was killing that had a soul also giving me like +3 HP. So
Yeah.
I was literally I was like, oh, goblins, bring it on. Oh, bandits, bring
I'll
it on.
fight all you guys.
Uh-huh. Because
Yeah.
every time I killed them, I think I had like 2100 HP by the end of that run.
That's
I was
great.
just like, okay, I can't do anything.
Largely
Like,
unkillable.
yeah, and
Yeah.
don't get me wrong, it was fantastic. Like
Oh,
I
yeah.
wiped everybody out.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I got that as my first one that I've got. I haven't seen any of the other ones so far.
Yeah, the other one that I like is let me see if I can find it here. It's the Arsenal. So it's the one where you lower item quality by 15%, which doesn't really matter if you have a long enough run, but that's the one that creates the additional item slot. So you can essentially equip an item that another class can equip. So that's why I play the rogue a lot, because the rogue can start
Gets the magic
equipping.
shield from the necromancer.
Yeah, you get the necklaces, so the rogue gets the magic shield, which is just incredibly overpowered in a way that feels really great.
Yeah, because it also starts at full, no matter how early, no matter which combat you're in.
Yep.
It starts at a full power, and it gives you that wiggle room to heal over time, while that is getting decreased over time. Like
Yep.
it's a handy little thing to have.
Yeah, and looking up, Necromancer gets the shield from the warrior, so you get that increased defense. And then the warrior gets the helmet slot from the rogue, so you get to do counterattack retribution damage.
Interesting.
Yeah. So it's I mean, you do have the, it seems like a big negative in decreasing your item quality by 15%, but the benefits you get from getting another class's item is so strong that I don't think I would run a different card.
And to be completely, can you only have one of those? Is that the trick?
You only have one golden card, yeah.
Okay. I think the biggest flip side of that though is like, yeah, the item quality is like -15%, but like the amount of trash I'm earning.
Yeah.
It's like cool. I got like a level 13 like book. So I'm gonna equip that, and then for the next 12 loops, all I'm getting is like level 7 and 8 stuff. And it's just like,
yeah,
okay.
It decreasing by 15% is not really a negative at all.
Yeah. So I don't know. I probably need to experiment more with the other classes, like particularly the rogue, especially now that I have the forest and the thicket unlocked.
Yep. get all that attack speed.
Yes,
The
but
only
like,
downside of increasing your attack speed is there is an exhaustion meter for all three classes. The rogue
is
is,
there?
yeah, the rogue is really the only one that runs into it. There's like on your health bar, there's like three. When you're in a battle, there's the green health bar, and then there's two very small ones underneath it that are like 1 pixel thick, and it's like how soon are you going to get an attack? I think that's the blue one. And then there's one underneath it that decreases every time you attack. But for the other classes, it increases faster than it decreases. But for the
Mm-hmm.
for the for the rogue especially, once it decreases all the way, you get a little exhausted and you attack at probably 50% speed until it builds back up, and then you go crazy again. So like it's not even you don't even stop attacking completely, which is great.
Okay,
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah.
And I just found out what the hard mission for the necromancer is.
Yeah, doing summoning 10 skeletons at once, which I just still have not done yet.
Yeah, like what?
Yeah,
How?
I think you have to equip all of your slots with +1 skeletons armor, and
Mm,
then maybe get that
and get the
skill.
perk.
Yeah, where it's what is it when you summon a skeleton? Sometimes you summon two. Is that the perk? Or
Yes, Edge of Impossible, I think is that one because
okay,
it's a hilarious name.
yeah,
When you summon your last skeleton, it has the chance to summon two more.
right. That's the one. Right. Yeah, I love Loop Hero. My playthrough this week, I unlocked another card, which I thought I was done doing that, but I unlocked the suburbs card, or it's the city. It's essentially just a small tile that every time you place it down, you earn 1 more XP for killing an enemy. And then, so essentially, like, I'm covering half of my map with those essentially. And I didn't realize until I started putting those down that if you put them in a plus symbol, the middle one upgrades to get +2 XP per enemy.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it was an interesting card that I replaced. I got rid of something and replaced it with that. I think I got rid of the road lanterns because I haven't really been using those. I'm more of a beacon guy. And I did defeat the third boss, and I forgot there's a fourth act, which is
Great.
hellishly difficult because it is a boss rush. So there is a fourth boss, but there are 3 pips in the there's the 2 bars, like the day progression bar and then the boss bar
Yes.
underneath it. There are 3 pips in that bar, so essentially a third of the way through filling that bar, which is like the beginning of the map, the Lich spawns along with his buildings. Then
Ah,
halfway through, the stained glass lady does. 3/4 of the way through, you get the hunter, and then all the way at the end, you get the final boss. But man, fighting the Lich really early is pretty flippin' tough, man. Like, I know you're supposed to
yeah.
summon him as soon as possible to just get rid of it, but like, I am speed is not my strong suit in Loop Hero. I'm usually I'm kind of crafting the perfect map to kind of be as strong as I can when I fight the boss, and rushing to fight a boss has been pretty rough. So I think I've beaten the Lich, a couple of times, and then I'm usually in such a bad spot beating the Lich that even though I have it's like 8 or 9 potions now, and each potion heals like 50% of my health, I'm
Hmm.
still in a really bad spot going through that next loop after defeating the Lich. So
Oh,
it's tough.
yeah.
I know I'll be in a
I,
better spot if I upgrade all my buildings and get all of those. Like, I've upgraded my watchtowers to a crazy level where each time you upgrade them, the archers get stronger and they cover 1 more tile
one more
away.
square.
So I'm
Yeah.
like, a quarter of the loop is covered by 4 archers that are doing a pretty crazy amount of damage. So it's like, all right, They don't fight bosses, but like everything else is getting knocked down pretty nicely. So you can get pretty strong in this game. I think one of my frustrations with this game, even playing it the second time, is the point where you're at right now. Of I need to finish building all of this stuff. I kind of don't know how to get all of these materials. I guess I'll live in the wiki for a little bit, which is a thing I kind of don't like in any games, really.
Yeah, but they do also have an encyclopedia. It tells you how to get the stuff. Like, as
Right.
soon as you build the library, it has it in the game, but it's like,
But only if you've gotten the
yes.
thing to drop once. So, like the astral orb, I had never gotten to drop once because I'd never put this building next to this one and exhausted this building, so it spawns this thing. So if you've gotten
You're
it
talking about
once,
the vampire mage.
yeah, the vampire mage. So, like, I never would have put those two things together. Like, if I didn't accidentally learn about the vampire villages when I played it the first time and that benefit, I would not have known about that. I don't know
What
if
vampire villages? Wait, hold on.
Oh
What's
no.
this?
Okay, so Vampire Village is like one of the strongest combos of cards. So you build a village and then you put a vampire manor right next to it. The
Okay.
vampire takes over and kills everybody in the village and spawns 4 ghouls every loop for 3 loops. So you're fighting 4 ghouls and a vampire at the same time, and sometimes that like swarm of bats too, which really sucks. But after you clear 3 loops and you clear all of the ghouls out of the town gets upgraded now that it's under the protection of the vampire. So it does 3 times as much healing when you pass through that tile, and you get better rewards from a quest that you do when you pass through that tile. So like it's
so you killed the ghouls and regained the vampire's honor, essentially, is what
pretty
you're doing.
much, yeah.
Do ghouls have souls?
I don't remember. You can see what has souls in the encyclopedia.
I wasn't asking about the game. That's just a philosophical question in general.
That's true. I don't know if I'm equipped to talk about ghoul souls. Yeah, that is an incredibly strong. It's really hard. Like if you don't have, that's why I build my villages on both sides of my campfire, because then the archers will help me clear out the town before while I'm still kind of weak at the beginning of the game. And then that's where you also put your bookery, so you can have the archers help you clear that out, so you can get more of the astral stuff. Like you start getting this kind of...
I don't even know what a bookery is, but okay.
A bookery is the one that helps you spawn vampire mages, where a bookery...
So it's just a library?
It is. I don't know why they call it a bookery. It's kind of funny. But every time you pass by it, it takes 3 cards and gives you 3 random ones. And once you trade 20 cards to that thing, the bookery kind of collapses, and at that point, having a collapsed bookery next to a vampire manor can then spawn vampire mages and the haunted books at the same time. So you're kind of getting...
Does it need to be in the square of effect of a vampire mansion, or just right next to it?
It has to be in the square of effect, and I just basically put them next to each other, because it's usually like the village is here, the 2 wheat fields are on the other side, vampire village is directly on top of, the vampire manor is directly on top of the village, and the bookery is like 1 tile to either side, whichever one is open. So
okay,
yeah,
and that also helps take up spaces on the road next to the camp too.
Yeah, if you're gonna fight the Lich, like that covers a bunch of spots there too. So there's so many cool combinations of cards in this game that, like, if you put one of those battlefields, the one that spawns the chests.
The chests, yeah.
And I'm not sure if you knew, but if you put battlefields on opposite sides of a road, it will spawn a killing field in the middle of it that spawns blood clots. But if you put the river next to a battlefield, that turns it into a sunken ship that then has like mer people coming out of it, and like there's so much of this stuff in this game that I wish there was a little bit more in the encyclopedia, I wish there was a little bit more like, you haven't discovered this card.
Yeah, question mark. Maybe try this.
Yeah, like what happens if there's a river next to a battlefield, something like that, or like I haven't even unlocked the Oasis card, which is a river placed next to some sand dunes. I don't even know what that does, but I know that's one.
Okay, so I have unlocked the dunes. I've never used them though. What, like the sand stuff?
I really don't like them because the more of them you place, they decrease the enemy's HP, which is good.
Okay.
But I kind of also don't like the thing that it spawns, which is like this sand monster kind of thing. I don't know. They kind of take up, to me, they do a very similar thing to the forest, where it's like you're getting
with the village question mark.
Well, I forgot there's a village question mark too. Also, if you put, don't forget to take
I've seen the field of blades before.
Yeah. Put the things next to the. But I like, to me, for my playstyle, I like getting the benefit of the forests rather than the benefit of the sand dunes. So I like attacking faster rather than debuffing my enemies. I think in the end they probably do exactly the same thing, but I like the forest better. But like, there's so much stuff in this game, and like every time we talk about like, oh, combining this with this other thing and this other thing seems like one of those pro ZD videos of like, here's the most annoying card you can play in a game, where it's like, oh, and I turn this and it spawns this, and if I put 3 land here, it does this other thing with blue cards. Like it sounds very much like that, but I dig it in this game. I just wish there's a little bit more guidance for like, maybe this is what you, even if I spend, because in the encyclopedia you can unlock the additional pages for each item that gives you lore about each page. I wish you could spend one of those things for like, what am I, can you give me a hint? Can you lead me down the right, like, I'm still missing cards. What do I have to upgrade to get this next card? That sort of thing. Or like, what do we need to build in the camp to upgrade this thing? So
yeah.
All right, I think that's it for me this week. Loop Hero. There's a lot of stuff in this tiny game.
Yes.
Yeah. And
it really is. Like, it's shocking how much stuff is there.
Yeah. Normally we would announce what our next game is, but we're going to be doing the ranking next week, and then we're going to be taking 2 weeks off after that. So we'll announce it probably in the ranking episode. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening, and we'll see you all next run. Bye.
Bye.